Hello. Peace and blessings to everyone. This is Medicine Man once again. I have a very interesting story time I'd like to share um, with you guys. And what we're doing today, man, what I'm doing in particular is, you know, I'm I'm elaborating. I'm elaborating on some things, and I would like for everybody to tune in. I really would like for people to tune into the live, and we're going to talk about, an issue of chaos, of confusion, and the amends of getting clarity on situations, on things that has happened, and the gossips, the rumors. Hold on. Yes. So I don't think I have that much time um, to deliver this message, but I definitely will. Um, excuse me. There's been a series of events, and I want to give people time enough to get into their Facebook. This live is actually posted on my Facebook page, as well as I'm live here on YouTube. And I sincerely pray that the Most High blesses us with clarity and wisdom, right? To help us understand the dynamics of life, peace, and happiness. In the current time frame of the last 20 years, the world, including its people, has changed, some for the better and others for the worst. And as we all learn to navigate the changes that are taking place in the world, it's important to know the place and part we play in helping the earth become a better place. And I've always, been for the empowerment of humanity as I learn to grow into becoming someone who can assist in the growth process. First and foremost, I'm not a racist. There ain't a racist bone in my body. I can't be. Because I understand the dynamics and manipulation that the society we live in has economically and socially imposed on the people. One against another, the war of division, the instigations of wars. And this has damaged the fabric of society, especially in the Black community, man. I'm one of those type of people who's always evolved from unique experience, man. And I refuse to sabotage a good heart, right? I refuse to do that for attention, money, or fame. Like, there's something I can't do. I lived with my grandmother since I was 5 years old, right? Not by choice, but by circumstances. And, this lady made sure I had food, clothing, and shelter. You know what I mean? And the best of all, she made sure I had love. That was my first experience of love, like, for real. My granny, man, And that was something that was never present in my life due to environmental choices of my parents. And I miss that lady, man. Man. When she passed away, right? Family betrayal went to an all-time high. Now, I know many of you guys out there, in the social media realm and sphere of awareness, you understand, when certain elders pass away in the family, man, the family, they ain't never liked each other anyway. So when Granny passed away, man, they go berserk. And that's what happened, in my dynamic, in general. That's exactly what happened, as most families do. Because the righteous grandmothers held the families together knowing they all hated each other. And I can tell you that should be studied. That should be studied. It should be studied how grandmother's superpower is holding the families together, you know. And when they leave, man, you witness family members trying to kill one another emotionally, and some even physically, you know. But it all alerts you to the reality that once they finish with each other, you're next. and that's a dynamic of broken families. And it's not based on economics. It's based on a lack of love. That's why kids who are born into wealthy families choose the streets over their families. And people be perplexed about it, like, bruh, your families are millionaires. What the hell? What the hell, you know? And the truth is, they have large bank accounts, but empty hearts. Kids sense the emptiness, and at an early age, they shouldn't be making life decisions like that, but they do. And as a result, the only place to escape a broken home is either another family member's house or the streets. Now, they don't make family like they used to. Back in the days, people would speak to parents to find solutions. Now it's a different dynamic, which shows signs that family structures are being dismantled, with the current way that the culture, is designed. I don't, under any circumstances, glorify violence, drugs, or the exploitation of people for whatever reason. Nor am I proud to be affiliated for 30 years of my life with people, places, and things that operated in that energy. Because at 16 years old, I donated. All right? I want you to, seriously, I donated 10 years of my life to incarceration. After accepting full responsibility for what happened, I held myself accountable for my participation, while lightening the participation of others who involved me. Meaning I let them go. They say, man, what the so-and-so and so-and-so have to do? I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's all me. I took it. And I regret that decision. I'm not going to hold it over my own head, but I let everybody go who was involved, because they involved me in their messy plot. I had to go down. So I got scapegoated, while one person became a city council member right here in Charleston. And the other was let go scot-free for their cooperation. And you want to know the crazy part about it? The craziest part about it is those were my first cousins. Yeah, my first cousins. And I learned that having ability to forgive betrayal of enormous magnitude has to be a superpower. It's not that a person can instantly do it. It takes years of self-evaluation and talking to the Most High to accomplish that. It's not an easy task. Definitely not. In a community that thrives off of drama and chaos, where everyone makes choices that benefit their best efforts to survive, and due to the circumstances of specific events, I realized immediately when I came home from incarceration that I was targeted. Because while incarcerated, some, not all, of my associates, friends, and family members became close friends with people they shouldn't have. When I addressed it directly, some pretended to not know. We know how that goes. Well, others told me I was tripping. I showed them. They refused to listen for various reasons. As a result, my family became the perfect breeding ground for revenge and chaos in my life. Because once people realized that they won't protect nor respect what I was saying, the mental dysfunction intensified. It really did. Every experience I had was vehemently attacked. That was extremely noticeable to the point where his silent separation was needed. And I had to get away. I had to move out these people way. I went through various struggles, man, attempting to regulate or understand what was taking place. In a destructive environment, let me tell you, here's what people do. In a destructive environment, they find ways to make it worse. As I involved myself in a cycle of unproductive ambitions, I noticed that people were intentionally not playing fair. Like they would do things to like intentionally turn people against me, turn me against other people. And, you know, once you do a certain amount of time, you're incarcerated and you come home, you have to be aware. Like your family members are friends with your victims' families and their friends and associates. That's dangerous. And so I noticed it, I addressed it, and nobody took heed, right? So that gave people the goal. Yeah. Let's continue this because this is easy. Every dealing that I had went bad. Not all. I'm not going to over exaggerate, but many dealings that I had with people went bad intentionally because people were intentionally trying to, provoke, to cause a confrontation and conflicts, people using other people to attack you in various ways. The worst part about it is where it was coming from. It was coming from family and friends, not all, who betrayed you with their allegiance to nonsense. Like most of them were drug addicts and in the street and stuff like that. So they wanted to keep their alliances intact with people, so they decided not to address something that I clearly addressed, numerous amounts of times. And and then it's weird because no one's truly healed. We all healing. But it was an elaborate setup, orchestrated by using hackers, private investigators, and others to cover up what they originally did. And people generally came on social media, which they come to play these games and stuff, on other people's vulnerabilities, while enacting a whole performance based off a dislike of all kinds of tendencies, especially those that centered around people's insecurity. While you held their secrets, they choose to puppet master your story, and they'll twist facts or truths to vilify you. I've always been the type of person that after learning the valuable lesson of incarceration, I vowed to never let myself get in that energy again. And I did, even while knowing people were trying to set me up, because you separated yourself from them. When you make that declaration that this ain't about to go down like that, these people tend to get mad because you were never supposed to know. My advice to anyone who get incarcerated is, to make sure your family and friends, and who they associate with while you're away, make sure that they're not friends and families with people that they shouldn't be, man. Because if you don't know, your family and friends could be inviting you to spaces filled to the rim with your enemies. Once these things are noticed, you get away from them immediately, and in small town situations. They, especially with the invention of social media, people formulate group chats and so on and so forth to talk, and not only talk, to watch, but not only to watch, but to set you up. Once they realize you have no support system, you become the perfect target because they know nobody cares about you, or they feel like that, for the most part. They have already examined the fact that your cousins or whoever else in your family is backstabbers, and they thrive off drugs and division and chaos themselves. So you've been searching for a way out of the mess. Okay. So you created a system of healing based on ancestral intelligence, flaws and all. You decided to help those who have experienced this type of betrayal through connecting with your higher intelligences. The whole time, people who dislike you or thought that you would expose them in your quest for peace, they did everything possible through these group chats, creating these community theatrics. So you remove yourself again. And you experience fake relationships, fake connections, fake clients. Man, I've had a bunch of those. While doing, hold on one sec, y'all. Just hold on, I'll be back. All right. And so, interesting story, man. I'm telling you. Your family members, most of them, not all, they thrive, man. They coexist in these environments with backstabbers and drugs and division. And like I said, you're searching for a way out. So you remove yourself. You dealt with fake relationships. You dealt with fake connections. You dealt with fake clients. And while you're doing your best to do good by people, these people intentionally trying to provoke the worst out of you. So they can go back to these group chats, lie and fabricate events, even while they're live streaming your phone, which is very interesting. See, the way that this works is that the hackers call people you're talking to, right, and offer incentives for doing the most to provoke you while they got your phone wiretapped and intently listening. All right. The problem is you've been noticed. Knew that. And you just continue to live your life, worry free because you ain't bothering nobody. You ain't doing nothing to hurt nobody. You might be a little weird, you know what I mean? But you're not doing, for real, seriously. Like, this ain't no joke, ain't no laughing matter. You're not doing anything to hurt anyone. And so you knew for 17 years, and some of the people you engaged with, they knew as well. You told them certain things, they knew, but because they had good experiences with you, they paid it no mind, essentially, especially when there was money involved, and you was treating them right. They were like, man, I ain't worried about that, man. We have a great relationship right here. So this is what we vibing on. And it stayed like that. I've developed some good relationships from that. And after appearing on social media, it kind of becomes a perfect greeting ground for these people to recruit others to harm you. The more you get out of their way, the more they intensify their attacks. Driving trucks for truck companies they followed you. State to state. Spreading the word, whatever word it was, I'm serious. Spreading that word, other truck drivers. I've had confrontations, man, like, I had to bust a truck driver up at a truck stop for playing with me. And I'm like, why would this man choose me to play with? You know what I mean? I'm sitting there, tell the dash think about it. Why would this man choose me to play with? To the point that I had to put my hands on him because he played way too much. And, I'm not a tough guy, man, but I know how to handle myself. because I knew something was up. Like they cut my brake lines one time in the truck, and I'm talking about way before I came on social media. They cut my brake lines, my air brakes, and I'm sitting there like, why losing pressure? And the crazy part about it is that I had a load going up into the mountains, and all of a sudden, mysteriously, my air brakes cut. Man, it was trying to get me out of here. And I knew it. I knew it. And I'm like, wow. That's when I've been new. Like I say, the fake clients, the fake students, the gaslighting, every client I dealt with, not everyone, I'm not going to lie on people, but the majority of them, they were trying to get in relationships, have sex, or attempt to lure you into some questionable environment. Speechless. But I looked at it all knowing the origins. You speak to people briefly about some of this and determine either they're blind or they're part of it. That's when you read the energy of it. You say, well, they couldn't know. But then you observed and you notice that, you ain't tripping. You're not. This is real. Not only are they lying and trying to provoke the worst out of you, you know where it came from. You know who they've been talking to. When you weren't around, it's obvious. You get silent. You get silent. You observe, you wait. Some interpret that as playing into a setup. And I'm going to be honest with you, in certain environments, because there are different environments, man. There are different environments. There are environments where there is no morals in that environment. Then there are environments where there are morals. And then there are people in every environment that don't got no morals. And there are people in every environment that do got morals and honor. And I tend to operate from honor. Like, I study martial art principles. I study martial arts, philosophy. And one thing you will learn is discipline and honor, man. Even if you was utilizing it, and there's certain times in my life I wasn't utilizing the information, and then there's certain times in my life where I did utilize the information. But honor and integrity is important in developing spiritual power. But this ain't about that. It's about being intentionally surrounded with people who try to provoke you over and over again. So I played into particular setups in the past, met people, illegal deals. And I'm talking 30 years ago. Hey, don't judge. 30 years ago, you're interacting with people and, the deals ain't going the way it's supposed to go. And conflict ensued and things were said. And then you find out when you go to correct it that it was a setup the whole time. That's why nobody wanted to correct it. Nobody wanted corrected because it was intentionally set in place for a conflict to happen so that there could be some type of conflict intentionally. And so when you start to notice that, you start to separate yourself from even more environments. You see? So yeah, in the past, I, played in the setups, knowing there were setups. I did. I used to play in setups just to see how far they would go, hoping someone say something. Because when they do say something, that lets you know that they were in on it the whole time. But they couldn't say nothing because they were in on it the whole time. And some people know, like, if I question this person or I say something about it, then it exposes me as being part of the issue itself. Now, you would get the opportunity to say, well, how you know? How you know? And I ain't tell you. But who told you? And then you start asking questions to get to the point of the matter. And the whole time, they don't want that. They don't want that because that means the truth's got to come out. The truth come out is, oh, yeah, you know, I ain't gonna lie, we pay this person to have an experience with you, and we pay this person to make sure that something went wrong. So we can have a reason to have a problem with you. That's weird, isn't it? You gotta pay somebody to have an experience with you, dealing with you on whatever level now, and then use that as a catalyst. Oh yeah, I got a problem with you. That means you don't have a problem with me per se. You want to have a problem, so you manufacture and try to create it by sending people to intentionally provoke. I mean, nobody's going to sit around and just be intentionally provoke over and over and over and over again with the same foolishness and nonsense. So you kind of remove yourself, you know? And in the past, I played in the setup. Yeah, people text me, tell me, oh, yeah. And I sit right there and played with them in the past. Yeah. And I ain't talking about recent past. I'm talking about way back then. I've been people send me pictures of people like, oh, yeah, you want to get with her? All right, where you at? Where y'all at? Send me your address. Because really, I had something for them. I'm not on that vibration no more, man. We talking about 20 years ago, man. I had something for them back then. But I ain't got nothing for you right now but the peace and the truth. That's all I got for you. Peace and truth, man. I played in those setups. Yeah, I played in them. Sure did. Wasn't probably the best thing to do. Wasn't probably, you know, in my adult mind right now, I'm thinking from the space of intelligence, I'm thinking from now. That wasn't the right thing to do, to play in it, because what people do, they take those texts and say, see, we got screenshot that he get down like this, or we got screenshot that he did this, and then try to say you did something while you know you lying. I know you lying. You know I know you lying. And you knew that had an address been sent for me to come a particular place, it would not have turned out well. Seriously, it would not. Because I was fully aware. Fully aware. And I'm not on that vibration. I'm really not on that vibration anymore. That vibration is, I left it where it's at, but sometimes people take those things and they say, well, see, y'all, look, this is what, you know, how he do it. How he do what? That's what you got me fucked up at. And then forcing that narrative while you sitting next to somebody that sure enough could do it. Man, that's insidious. Got me on the community watch list. What? They tired watching me, put camera everywhere. Can't even catch an Uber. Seriously. Can't even catch an Uber nowhere. I get there, somebody faking like they airing up their tire. Man, must me with that, man. Serious. Stop it. Because if I wanted to harm anybody with the information, I would have done it a long time ago. For real, sir. For real, ma'am. I just don't like the idea of me being in a situation where I got to like really comment on some things, because I had to write it down, because if I comment off the top of my head, I'm gonna come from my heart, and my heart and my mind is on two different levels. I would like my mind to control the conversation, you know, because like I say, my heart is on two different levels. My heart be like, man, let's just tell her everything, since, you know, people think that they're masterminds over your life story. And then it's like, my mind say, you know, I'm going to address me. My mind say, I'm going to address me. And that would allow them to address them. You know, because if I address me in the right way, they're going to have to address themselves in the right way, or either look crazy lying and carrying on, because it doesn't add up. The math don't add up. It don't make any sense. It really don't. You know, it don't make sense. But that's how people operate. And, you know, I wish them the best. So these people try to provoke the worst out of you because, hell, yeah, you played in old setups. But you needed people to think you were gullible, though. You need people to think you were gullible to make a move so you could disrupt their plans. That works. It really does. When they underestimate what and so this ain't no negativity, man. This is all, this is all positive, man. Because we all know better. You know what I mean? We all know better, especially when you're playing with people's children and pictures and stuff like that. We all knew better. We definitely did. But it was a different mission, involved at that time. A totally different one than what they talking about. It was totally different. Somebody could have got hurt. And I'm glad that I changed myself in my ways, because I could have played super dumb and let you lure me, and I already been there before you get there. You see what I'm saying? And situations could have got real crazy. Because I already know what you're talking about. I wasn't with that. I was trying to see if I could bait you there. See what I'm saying? Like, stop. And then you ask people to stop playing, and they continue to play. That's weird, but they run with the see y'all look. And that became the narrative of whispers all on the dark web and, just all over the place. So they finally found some people who say, well, we'll clone his phone and we're going to watch everything he do. But see, the problem with that is that's not what they do. See, that's the problem. The problem with that is they don't watch. They got a whole network. So what they'll watch. You call somebody, they'll call that person right behind you because they clone your phone. And in this technological age, I don't know why people think I don't know nothing about it, but whatever. I've switched phone 100 times. They know that. Nobody don't switch phone 4 or 5 times a year unless somebody who feel like they're being tracked and monitored. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you know you're being tracked and monitored, why would you? Every time I've been broke, I figure, man, let me go get some money. I can't because my phone monitored. So I can't go get no illegal money. I've been knew that. So I've been left that world alone. I'm definitely not in that space right now. Why would I do something retarded? Knowing I'm trapped. And I'm talking about knowing this for over 15 years. Because I know the type of people that do things like that. They're community, informants, people who disgruntled about their interactions with you, and they're mad or upset or whatever in their temperaments about how they interacted with you and how they were trying to bait you here or bait you with this and bait you with that and couldn't because you removed yourself or situations happen or whatever, and your side of the story is never admissible in their courts. Never. They don't want to hear it because they already don't like you due to their insecurities or whatever else they got going on, or they're part of what happened way back in the 90s. They're part of that. And people will teach other generations to participate in their foolishness when you're far removed. A lot of these people, I forgot their names. I had to go do research and, have to go study it up again. But the details are undeniable and unbelievable. Because you can easily be surrounded by paid actors. Easily. The Truman Show, you know what I mean? You could be surrounded by people who come to your business just to get in your business. People to get in relationships with you to siphon information, to energy harvest. And then when you ask them questions, they like, listen, we too grown to be lying, manipulating, and playing games like that. And I removed myself from those situations. And people will say, well, his own mama talk about him. Yeah, true. I never lived with her. You know what I mean? It's the longest I've ever been in this space. And most of it, honestly, is from my concern. You know, you sometimes in life, unfortunately, you love people that don't love you. But you do it because it's in you. It's part of your heart chakra. And when you do real work, healing could be like genocidal. Because it's like when you start to heal, you will be in situations where you will have to love people that don't love you nor themselves. Some of these people are parents. It just is what it is. But you still got to love them in your own unique way. But you can't let them just terrorize your boundaries with their imperfections and mental illnesses. You just can't. Because if you're in a situation where you're trying to help somebody and they're trying to destroy you, you always have to remember you have to keep your mental health intact for your children now. Because your kid's gonna need you. So you can't let a disgruntled parent or whatnot terrorize your mental health. Of course not. You can't. You can't do that. So, you be in situations where you have to love people that don't love themselves. And that's okay. That's okay. Because you get your blessings from up above. You get your blessings from God when it comes to that. And you might not be the best camper with that. Okay? Now, it's been times that I have to put my parent in place. Do you think I really wanted to do it? I had to. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to. Because if you don't, they get stronger and stronger. It's an energy. It's an energy. And me understanding my particular life cycle. My grandmother raised me since I was 5 years old up until I've been on my own. So I've really never had those kind of interactions until, as of lately. So it's interesting, man. It's an interesting concept because sometimes you feel like you're dealing with someone you don't know. But it's okay. Work through it. It don't sound good. Healing don't sound good at all. Healing don't look good at all. You know what I mean? In fact, healing can be extremely dangerous because when you start fighting out against generational cycles and you start breaking those generational cycles, you not even breaking them. When you start questioning genocidal cycles, when you start questioning the dysfunction of your family, they'll attack you and they'll use anything. You got family members, if you question their dysfunction, they will intentionally go and find your enemies and befriend them. Family members. They'll go find your enemies and befriend them. The same people you say, hey man, you might need to stay away from so and so and so and so. They're going to be their friend to make you mad. That's dangerous. They will use the police. If you don't do what they want you to do, if you don't believe what they believe in the way that they want you to believe it, you're evil to them. That's right. Yeah, man, it happens. It happens. But I ain't relinquishing, and I don't suggest that nobody do that. I don't suggest that nobody relinquish their connection with the Most High to please anyone, mama, daddy, sister, or brother. Now you might have to tell them, all right, I don't do that no more, just to make them shut up. But even that goes against your best judgment. When you have to tell your family members so they can stop attacking you, you have to tell them, hey man, I don't practice that no more. Look, I read in the Bible. Look, I doing what you do. Look, I doing what you do now. Because that's all they want. They want you to assimilate and back into the dysfunction. The moment you gain any clarity and you start to develop your own understanding on who or what God is, or who or what the universe is, or what your potential is, and your place and your journey in this universe is, they're going to attack you. And those attacks ain't nothing to be taken lightly. Like I said, your family members will go befriend your enemies because you don't believe in the same religion. That's called bigotry. The spirit of bigotry is extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. If you're around people that don't like you, family members, that don't like you because of your belief, they're dangerous. I had a cousin who came home from prison, right? He was a Muslim. All the Christians in the family got together and attacked that man so much. I mean, attack. Oh, you don't eat pork. You want pieces of pork chop? Playing and stop playing with people like that. That is a spirit of bigotry. Oh, the Quran ain't real. Like, nobody asks you that. You're not even having it. We have a whole conversation about football, and all of a sudden the Quran ain't real. That's the spirit of bigotry. It's a disease. It's a pure disease. And these people who think and operate from that spirit of awareness, they're dangerous. You don't believe what they believe? I'll call the police, tell them you got a gun. Shit. For real. I call the police. You can't tell them nothing. I call the police. Get on the phone with everybody, talk about you like a dog to the whole city. To anybody that will listen, talk about you like a dog. Because they don't like you. And then you ask them why. And then they got amnesia. Total, absolute amnesia on how you helped them. Absolute, can't remember nothing. You remember I give you, you remember I did, you ain't remember the 5,000, you ain't remember the 4,000, the 3,000, the 500, you don't remember none of that. Because you don't want to. It's inherent evil. Very evil. And things like that, and family members like that, they arm your enemies against you. Because if they're friends with people they know don't like you, and they're telling them your business, but it's dangerous. They're telling these people your whereabouts, knowing you already told them, don't tell these people nothing about me, because you're already disrespecting me by being friends and associate with these people. So don't talk nothing of mine. Talk your business with them. They say, oh yeah, he in Florida. Oh yeah, he there. Giving people the opportunity to pick up the phone and say, yeah, he down here. He down there. Giving people the opportunity. Feed them. Feeding them. Like I said, the details are unbelievable. Absolutely. You know, and you know, I tell people all the time, definitely when it comes to interactions with people, even in your business or even in your business or it's like in your personal life. You know, I'm a man, you know, so yeah, I've been to casinos and I've had fun, you know, in a time frame and days in which I did that. I don't do none of that now. I'm absolutely been celibate for about 4 years. Celibate. I don't do nothing, man. You know, nothing. Never been on no drugs, so you didn't miss me with that. Smoke a little weed, you know, used to. I don't do that anymore. And so I advise people, men and women, like for real, you know, when you're trying to develop any kind of spiritual power and ability, stay away from other people, especially stay away from strangers. Strangers have strange energies. And so, and that goes like for the escort business, or like if you just meet somebody and you want to get a one night stand, stay away from that. That could be extremely dangerous, especially if you're a targeted person. Those things can be extremely dangerous because people will take money and drugs to get you in weird situations, to orchestrate a setup to have you hurt, harmed, or you have to defend yourself. And it could definitely go sideways. It can go any kind of way. I mean, but and the thing is, if you got a good heart, man, you'd be like questioning yourself. Like, did I do the right thing? What did I do wrong? And the whole time, the people that you involved with, that you have around you or whatever, so on and so forth, their intentions was to come in and provoke the hell out of you. Provoke you, fight you, steal from you, get you in weird situations where you possibly can get ambushed. And you feeling sympathy for them because you're thinking like they're getting caught up in the cross. But then they do things to let you know, like, nah, I'm not caught up in the cross. I am the cross. And so when people provoke you like that, that's dangerous, man. It's harmful and it's hurtful. Because you know you ain't got no negative intention. You already know you ain't, operating from that. You already know you ain't there. And just to say somebody totally tricked you to get you in a situation. So, like, really? This is what people do. And this is why people are extremely dangerous. And that's why I tell guys I talk to, stay away from the fast woman, the fast life. Take it from me. I'm telling you from experience. I'm not telling you from, I'm not telling you from nothing else but experience. Especially if you're the type of person, you got people that don't like you, or you have a social media presence. You have to stay away from people. You have to absolutely stay away from people, and you have to screen and filter people very uniquely before you entertain them. You have to screen them uniquely, filter. Because if you don't, what's going to obviously happen is they're going to get close to you to try to find a weak spot. My weak spot, unfortunately, is I care. You know why? Because I've learned to develop self-love. I've learned that one of the most strongest love I received came from my grandmother, and everybody else was faking and pretending and had agendas. Everybody. I ain't sugarcoating nothing for nobody. You know what I mean? Like, they had agendas, man. So I've never want nobody to go through anything remotely close to what I went through. So I make sure I treat people good. And I've been in the store. Man, sitting there, he counting pennies, trying to buy him some tater chip and a beer, He's counting pennies. I said, man, put that back in your pocket. Just put that in your pocket. Huh? Because I would love to see in me and see in you what I see in me. I would love to see in you what I see in me, which is something good, a good heart that's surrounded by what? Snakes? Shame, but true. And some of us are like that. People with good hearts, people who are part of God, part of like the real Most High, the real one, the real creator, people who are part of the real creator. Let me tell you the funny game the creator plays. He takes the people with the best heart and put them in the most dysfunctional family. And you got to find your way out. That's the maze of life. You really have to find your way out. You know you got a good heart. Hell, nobody can tell you how good your heart is but you, because it's in you. Man, this heart good. I look out. I paid people rent who was standing on the corner selling drugs and couldn't get their money up. About to get evicted. Girl pull up on them, curse them out. I said, man, how much y'all need for this rent? We need 400 because that nigga ain't did nothing. He been out there 3 days and they ain't got $40 in his pocket. You know what I do? I said, him. The one thing about me, I keep money. I don't even cherish that. I don't cherish money. But I keep a few dollars. But I don't cherish it. Because you can't love it. You can't love it. I would cherish somebody I can love. And I got value, man, to, there's a lot of value to people. People do have value. And like the woman in general, and like I said, there's a lot of nonsense that has taken place, as far as with medicine, man, and other entities and energies. I'll say this right here, man. I have always, regardless if I feel like I'm right, regardless if I feel like I'm wrong, my heart always hurts when there is a woman involved in nonsense. My heart always hurt. That's a hurtful feeling because it's just a hurtful feeling, man. Man, y'all don't even know. It's a real hurtful feeling for women to be involved in nonsense. And man, I'm telling you, man, that stuff it just hurts, man. It just hurts. Like I got words written down, I can't even explain it. It's just, I always sincerely apologize. Because I'm disappointed. I've always been disappointed when there's women involved in any situation. Even if they intentionally involve themselves, man, even if they took a payment, man, even if they took a payment, it hurts. Because when I developed this system, right? When I brought my root work, my hoodoo, my knowledge of my interactions with the Most High on social media to try to help people, that's sincere, man. Because I've been through some things and I'm like, man, I could teach from my experience and, help people. But then you turn around and end up needing help from the people you're coming to help. Like, gee whiz, man. And I forgive people, man, but I'm just disappointed. And I'm disappointed in me. I should have seen it sooner, but when I saw it, man, I was shocked. Like getting hit with the volts. I'm shocked because I'm looking like, man, I come to help y'all. I come to give y'all some power. Wow. I came to help y'all. I came to help because I've always been the type of person, medicine man, shavers, always been the type of person that I feel like I owe society. And I feel like my purpose is to help the advancement and upliftment of humanity. I don't care about your race. I don't care about that. You can be black, white, green, yellow, Asian, I don't care. If you got a good spirit and I feel like I can help you, I will help you. You heard? I remember one time I got picked up. I was in Florida and I called an Uber. I called an Uber driver, right? And the Uber came, man. And soon as I sat down in the back seat, I told that man, I said, man, you done get over your gambling problem? The man sit back like this. That man looked back at me like, he said, man, how you know I got a gambling problem? Man, I just lost my house and my family by my gambling problem. And I drive an Uber and left right now to try to get something back. I done lost my wife, and the house. She's staying with her people. I'm living in a hotel, driving Lyft and Uber because I done messed up the morgue. That man look at me like, man, how you know that? He said, how you know this? I said, man, that's the first thing that came to my spirit when I sit down in your car. That this man got a serious gambling problem. And I commenced to give him the understanding that he needed. Know why? Because I had to overcome some of that myself. So when I came into the vicinity, I recognized the energy immediately. As soon as I got in his car, I read, oh man, this man got a serious gambling problem, man. And I asked him, and he was shocked because he didn't know. Or he was like, who are you, man? Are you fucking psychic or some shit? And I was like, yeah, well, kind of, sort of, but you know. And he was like, man, let me get your number, man. I gave him my number, and we never talked or further had any further communication because I think he was like really stunned that I knew that. And he had just like lost his home like a few weeks prior. So reading energies is important. You know, you can read the energy of a people, you can read the energy of situations, you can even read the energies of environments. I've been in environments where like I knew nothing, no Google Maps. I wasn't using Google Maps or nothing, but Spirit said, no, don't go here. Don't go down that street. Go here. And I'm walking through places where I don't know, knowing I'm being followed. And so it's intense, man. And just like this morning, I go out this morning. Here goes this Spanish guy. He, let me see. I'm trying to look for something to use as a phone, but he jogging. He got his phone like this while he jogging, looking at me like this. Man, I had to laugh, man. But because it don't bother me. As long as you don't bother me, it don't bother me. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, he got on high water yellow short pants. I guess that's the color, you know, whatever. But he got on high water yellow shorts. I mean, that boy looked like he had on Daisy Dukes. You heard? And I ain't like really into the cracking jokes right now, right? But that's the first thing that just came to my mind when I saw him. He looked like, you know, he got on Daisy Dukes, running with his phone aim at me like this, with his eye bust wide open like he just hit a fucking slab. And I'm looking at this man like, man, wow. You don't even know. But you got yourself involved in. You know, but people like that, I give them grace. I give everybody grace, man, because God gave me grace. So I give people grace. I give people grace who set me up. Give them grace. And I knew. I gave them grace in the middle of the setup. Give them grace. Because some people, if you put them in certain situations, man, them boys can strike you with death. No questions asked. They're going to strike you with death. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be out here doing things to people like that because everybody is not the same. Some people's nervous system is actually wired differently. Some people's nervous system is like, you put me in danger, I need to kill you. And then other people's nervous system is like, okay, I assess and everything. This is what we're going, okay, and you move out the way. So you move out the way and you just, you know, kind of get out the way where everybody's safe. Because that's the right thing to do, but everybody's not wired like that. And when you've been like battle stricken, it ain't even tested. When you've been battle stricken, you learn that the majority of people you come up against are actually harmless and operating from a state of fear based on what they've been told or shown or whatever about you. So they operate from a spare fear. You know, these people really don't know what they're, you know, getting into when they try to engage with you. So they operate from a spare fear, and that energy reeks all over the place, is easily read. I mean, for somebody who can read energy, it's easily read. And so you know that, okay, this person ain't got no dangerousness in them. They would like to have dangerousness in them, but they don't have it, man. The people operating off of fear and looking for an opportunity. And so you're just like, go ahead, man. Just, I'll go over here. You go over there. And you kind of keep it moving because that person is actually not a threat. And I'm not a threat. I've never been a threat. Never. I made mistake back in the past life, whatever, and but a threat? A whole show enough full-blown threat? For what? Who the hell want to come out here and help people and be a threat at the same time? That's a fucking oxymoron to me. It's an oxymoron. I'm going to be a threat. I'm going to be dangerous to everybody. Now, dangerousness is needed in the world that we live in. So you have to be dangerous. But a man or a woman that has the energy of dangerousness in them, they don't wear it on their shoulder. Nope. I've been around the most dangerous people. And they're some of the most kindest people in the world. And you never know, like, these people are extremely dangerous, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, wow. Like, whoa. Like, this guy is dangerous. I remember, let me tell you a prison story, right? Before I cut this short. A prison story. I used to play chess every morning. Every morning. I used to play chess with this guy, right? His nickname was Hacksaw. I never asked. Like, because, in prison, in those situations, you don't really, like, be asking people like, hey, man, what you in for? You know what I mean? You just kind of try to do your time. So this guy, I was playing chess, man, with him every day because he was like one of the best chess players and I was one of the best. And we used to go head to head, bop, 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 every morning. And so one day somebody came to me and said, man, you know who that is, isn't it? I said, no. I said, that's Hacksaw. He said, man, that man done, whew, that man did this, like some of the stuff might be too graphic for like your digestion, but I'm going to say it in the most light way I could. He unalived his grandparents, got this insurance money. And then when they came to get him, he had those people chopped up in the freezer. I said, what? Man, that body parts in the really? Wow. I was scared of him. Hearing that story, I was like, boy, whoo, boy, I'm scared of him. I had to kind of like it changed my whole thing but in essence, I didn't get that energy from him. Like he was kind. Hey, brother, you want a soda? Like, hey, you want a soda or you want some snacks? I got some, just kind of like being friendly, and we have friendly games, laugh and joke and talk about football, basketball and all that whole time. That man got 3 life sentences. He done chopped his grandma. I'm like, man, I can't talk to you. Nigga. You could have probably got away with anybody else with that. But, me and my grandma got a special thing going on. And so it bothered my heart. So I had to kind of, I can deal with some of the other stuff, man. But the grandmother stuff in the freezer, that's too deep for me. Way too deep. My heart couldn't take it. So I had to separate myself. I had to go find me a new chess partner. It wasn't no hard feelings, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to beef with him. If he done that, ain't no telling what he can, whoa. I try to stay away from him. And so I say that to say this, most of the most dangerous people and I'm not a threat. Man, I try to look out for everybody. If I eat, I try to make sure everybody eat. If I got a way of making some money, I put you on to it. I show you like, hey, man, you can make some money doing this like this. Or you can make some money doing like, hey, man, you might need to want to make an audio book. Or you might need to, I would try to educate people so that they can figure out how to do it themselves. Because you teach a fisherman how to fish. You don't give them fish. And even though you're hungry, I give you a couple of pieces of fish. Okay. But now I'm also give you a rod. And I'm gonna take it to the lake where I know they biting at. Hey, and I'm going to show you how to cast it and let you reel your own thing in. Always been like that. But when you're surrounded by people, that when you say, hey, man, I got a good idea how we can make it out of this situation, and them people ain't gonna let you do that. They're not gonna let you do that. Those people ain't gonna let you accomplish this. Them people ain't gonna let you. Man, who's them people? In your mind, you've actually formulated that there is somebody that's going to stop you from accomplishing your goals because you don't know. But yet, most of these people who think like that, they watch entertainers do it all the time. They accomplish their goals. They watch scientists accomplish their goals. They watch people go to school. They watch people get degrees. They watch people get certifications. They watch people accomplish their goals and still turn around and say, them people ain't gonna let you do that. Really? That's a mental illness that should be studied. It really should. It should be studied. Real talk. Yep. And so I realized, and what you guys would realize as well, is that there are environments of people that don't think well. They don't. They don't. It's all about clout. It's all about entertainment. I do not find trauma hilarious. I know I made a song, somebody that said black trauma is hilarious, but if you listen to the lyrics, you definitely would know that it's nothing funny about black trauma. There's nothing funny about white trauma. There's nothing funny about nobody's trauma. But we live in an entertainment age and where people like to turn other people's trauma into laughing matters. All that does is energizes the energy of dysfunction. And it keeps it going. It keeps the cycle and the loop going on. So I wanted to end this video, but I will end this video on a great note. I definitely see the value in many of my supporters, people who have supported me without me knowing. I appreciate you. Seriously. People that showed me love in quiet moments. I appreciate you guys. And I forgive anybody who was deceived. I understand. The deception runs thick, very thick. Can't say certain things. I won't. And I'm not here to expose nobody. I'll expose me. And if you know too much about me, you expose yourself. That's how it works. And so, but I forgive people, man, for me, and I definitely, I offer my deepest, honest apology to all the women who were impacted by this nonsense. I don't know exactly where to put it or what to do with the nonsense. I don't know, other than to make a general statement, explaining the validity of it and try to get some clarity. Anybody who has any further questions, I mean, you could call me, email me, or whatever. But I am not a threat. I am not a threat. I am not a threat to the spiritual community. I am not a threat to my community. I stay out the way. I don't sell no drugs. What the hell I look like? I sell stocks. I'm over here sweating right now, waiting on SoFi to go up, man. Yeah, SoFi is a good buy right now. I'm sitting there sweating right now, waiting on SoFi to go up, SOFI, in stock market. I'm waiting on that to go up. You know what I mean? I sell stocks, man. I sell books. I sell root work. I give out information. I do readings. I try to inspire people. You know why? Because sometimes you have to become the missing part of your own life. I never had nobody inspire me. Inspire? What? See, most of the people I've been around said, man, you need to go get a package. I don't want to be around that, man. I'm at a different level of life, man. I ain't with that. I don't want no package. I don't want to do nothing criminal. Nothing. My days with that was 25, 30 years ago. Don't want nothing to do with that. God bless you, bro. God bless you, sis. I wish the best. But I don't want nothing to do with that. Because I already know what that comes with. I'm a psychic. I can see drugs, crime, prison, dead. Simple. Your best friend gonna rat on you. The people you around you gonna snitch. The person you're probably buying the drugs from is the police. So, man, listen, I don't want none of that. I'm not getting into that cycle. Never. Again, you liable before medicine man get back in that cycle. You would probably you probably come off. You probably see me under a bridge in a cardboard box, man, before I go that route there for real. Dead serious, man. I'll be washing cars or, cleaning up people's yard. You know what I mean? I'll do something like that, man. I ain't selling no drugs. That's out. Because I am too awakened for that bullshit. I don't care how flat my pocket get. Too awakened. I love y'all, man. And not my peace and love goes to everybody that continue to support me, who supported me in places, who supported the truth, I'll put it like that, in places, man, in spaces where I couldn't reach. Man, I love y'all for that, man. And the people that did me dirty, did me wrong, man, listen, thank you. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, man. What breaks your heart sometimes fix your visions. Yeah. It broke my heart. But, man, I can see things clear. Very clear. And it hurt my heart, right, that I have to deal with family members who are involved. Yeah, family members deeply involved, too. Yep. It hurts. But, I got to continue. You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to cause no harm on nobody. I ain't trying to cause no harm on nobody. I ain't want nothing to do with nothing. Right? You know what I mean? Whatever operation you got going on, hey, keep going on. I don't want no beefs. I ain't bringing nothing. I give my apologies. And I owe some, a few other people apologies, man. I owe some guys some apologies. I went off on them back in the days. I'm type of person I like to fix things. Some things you can't fix, but it don't make you scary because you like to fix things. It don't make you scary now at all. It just means that you got a heart, like you feel like something wrong, and maybe we can talk it out. But this generation here, man, is different. Like people think differently. Like they're cowards. Like they would rather fight than work that thing out. Like, that uncomfortable conversation sometimes it need to be had. People don't like that. Trust me, I had uncomfortable conversation a few weeks with somebody, man. All you sit there looking like this, like I'm about to hit you in your head with a hammer or something. I'm not going to hit you in the head, bro. I just telling you the truth. And if the truth make you want to run and dive off the balcony or whatever and say, I throw you off it, man, whatever, man. It's not like that. I don't operate because when you know. Hey, listen, you're just trying to bring the peace and keep the peace. Bring the peace, keep the peace. I am not a threat. I'm telling you, I am not. I might be a threat to the government, but I'm not a threat to you. I'm not a threat to you. I'm not a threat to no man. I'm not a threat to no woman. Not damn sure ain't no threat to no child. Miss me with that shit. For real. I'm not a threat, man. I'm not a threat. And I'm just not here for games, though. But I ain't no threat. At all. I stand on that. I stand on that, man. Because if I was a real threat, a lot of things would have been solved by now. You know what I mean? Because threats solve things in a threatening way. I don't solve things in a threatening way. I solve situations with solutions. And I am solution-based. Let's get to a solution. Even if an uncomfortable situation or conversation has to be had, uncomfortable conversation has to be had, let's have it. But all that pretending and theatrics, and I'm not, it's not good. That's not good. Because all we're doing is exploiting people's vulnerabilities. All we're doing is exploiting ourselves. And I don't want no money out of exploitation of vulnerabilities. I don't want to get my money from that. I don't want no money from exploiting anybody's vulnerabilities. I don't, no. I'd rather get my money shoveling horse shit before I get money through exploiting other people's problems and vulnerabilities. It's not cool to me. That's why I don't be on social media performing. I don't judge nobody. Hey, I wish all the best for everybody out here. If you got a social media profile, man, I wish you the best, man. Because I ain't with the foolishness, man. I just can't. For me, keeping it authentic, keeping it 100%. Authentic. I am going to be me. I am not no threat. I am not your enemy. I had the police call on me so much times, they probably think I'm some kind of crime boss or something. I'm not. All I do is trade stocks and write books and do root work. I mean, that's it. What else can I do? Can't go hang out because I got 5 federal agents, 3 gang stalkers, everybody following me around. That shit is funny. Everybody following me. I can't even go in this. I went in the smoke shop. Man, the man ran in the door. He almost, like, I almost reacted, but I had to catch myself. Like when he saw me, he got out because what happened, I was going somewhere else. And I told the driver, stop right here. I'm going to go in there. And so by us making that inadvertent stop, he must have been following, right? So I went in the smoke shop. Man, I've been in there as soon as I tell him, man, yeah, let me get a box of Black Mile and this. He come running in the door, like, breathing hard, like he just parked the car and jump out the car to come and run in the store and see what I getting. Yeah, serious, man. Like, I was like, damn, bro, you might need a Fitbit to check your heart rate while you're moving like that behind me. You know what I mean? But I good, man. Everything good. All about peace. And I know the police watch, and I get it. I know the police watch, I know the feds watch, I know everybody else watch. I ain't no threat to you. I come to help. Man, I got some stuff, some power. Wow. Man, that could really help. But I can't give it to you because everybody won't fight. And they know what it's all about. I mean, like, cut it out. Cut it out. If there's something I need to do, I will do it. Like, for real. I'm all man, all accountability. I ain't tripping. I'll handle my part, but I need you to handle your part. But if you can't handle your part, why you ask me to handle my part? Because I know, like, man, I know it's all a concoction. And this ain't cool, man. It ain't cool, man. On God, it ain't cool. It's not. But I wish everybody peace. I wish everybody blessings. I wish everybody prosperity, clarity of mind, and love, man. Because, boy, we have not been loved. When we fight so much, when people fight so much, when people look for fights, when people instigate fights, when people celebrate fights, it's only because you haven't been loved. Because people who really find love within themselves and receiving loves from their parents and receiving loves from their siblings, they don't want to fight because love feels too good. Love feels too good. For y'all who got mothers and family members that really, truly love y'all, think about it. Love feels so good. And there are people like myself where I had to learn to generate that love. I got my love from my granny. She'd been gone 13 years. And I had to carry on the love that she left with me to know that it's still real. It really is. It's possible. Love is possible. It really is, man. And I mess up, man. But I'm going to go. I want y'all to be at peace, love, and happiness, man. Always, man.